Guys, I am so excited. After much anticipation, we're gonna start doing the episodes for Game of Thrones. I hope that you enjoy it. I'm extremely excited. We're gonna do the vocabulary explanation. Let's get started.
What do you expect? They're savage.
So the first thing I want you to look at is the dictation. Goat, wildings, deserter, won't, manage to, marksman, bow, lad, saddle, and oath, just to practice with pronunciation. This, whenever you see parentheses like this, these are a word that imitates the sound it represents. Basically, we're going to ignore these words here. Knickers, nick, like nick is a metal, nickel. So knickers, that's the sound. If you think of a word that sounds like boom, tap tap, splash, all these words are in poetry a word that imitates the sound it represents. So these are all the words that we're gonna see here in parentheses, right? Just ignore them for now. We're not really studying poetry. I am going to ignore. I'm gonna acknowledge the words, but I'm not gonna explain them because they're obvious. So this is what one of the guardsmen in the night watch finds, and it's incredible. Let's practice with pronunciation. What do you expect? They are savages. Think of the Roman Empire. Anyone who is not civilized is a barbarian.
One lot steals a goat from another lot. Before you know it, they're ripping each other to pieces.
He says they're savages because they have no law. If one bunch steals a goat from another bunch, there's not really any rules. There's no law. One lot or one bunch, one group of people steals a goat from another group of people. This is the definition for goat. Here's the translation. And before you know it, things are out of control. They're ripping each other to pieces. Ripping each other to pieces. Also, just like the picture we saw, these people are ripped in pieces. So before you know it, because there's no law with the barbarians, they're ripping each other to pieces.
One lot steals a goat from another lot. Before you know it, they're ripping each other to pieces.
I never seen wildlings do a thing like this.
I've never seen wildlings do a thing like this. So this guy thinks that this is not wildlings that did this. It's something else.
I never seen wildlings do a thing like this.
I mean, they are barbarians, but they don't do stuff like that. Think of wild as a savage and wilding as the person, so it's an adjective.
I never seen a thing like this, not ever in my life.
I've once again, I never seen a thing like this, not ever in my life. Another way of saying this in formal English is, I have never seen a thing like this in my life. Let's repeat. I have never seen a thing like this in
I never seen a thing like this, not ever in my life.
my life. The horse snorts. The snorts is the sound of the air. The air is when the horse goes like.
How close did you get?
Close as any man would.
Snorts. How close did you get? He doubts his claim. So he's saying, come on, how close did you get? Maybe you didn't see, maybe you're thinking you saw. But let me ask you, how I got as close as any man would get.
How close did you get?
Close as any man would.
Not closer because they would kill me. So he's saying, you know what? We should head back to the wall.
We should head back to the wall.
Let's go back to safety or protection. I got as close as any brave man would to the wildlings, or in this case, the White Walkers. Another way of saying close as any man would is I got as close as any brave man would get safely from a safe distance. Let's get back to protection. The wall. You can pause the video here and read about the wall.
We should head back to the wall.
It's a colossal fortification which stretches for 100 leagues or 300 miles. The commander here asks the guardsman, do the dead frighten you?
Do the dead frighten you?
Once again, do the dead frighten you? Or are you afraid of the dark?
Our orders were to track the wildlings. We tracked them.
This is the other person, the other guardsman. He says that our orders were to track the wild. To track is to follow, to see what they're doing. Not the orders were not to attack, not to engage, just to track the wildling.
Our orders were to track the wildlings. We tracked them.
So he's saying, well, maybe the king has more questions for us. You don't think he'll ask us how they died?
You don't think he'll ask us how they died?
I mean, how did this happen? Not only to track, also not to engage, not to fight, but just to discover what actually happened. So the commander makes the decision and he says, get back on your horse. Get back on your horse. And some of these guys are worried, so they say whatever did it to them could do it to whoever ripped them apart, could also do it to us. So we're in danger because they even killed the children. Pretty scary, huh? The commander, once again, he has no fear. He says, well, it's a good thing that we're not children. Let's hope that this guy is not being foolish by doing this. He's very empowered, but that could lead to trouble. So here's the commander saying, okay, do whatever you want. If you want to run away or you want to run away south, just do it. Of course, they will behead you as a deserter. Let's repeat, of course, they will behead you as a deserter. So a deserter is a crime. This comes from the Roman army. Desert means to leave your position, and this is a serious offense, a serious crime, because even in the times of the Roman army, you depend on each other. Even your shield protects one another. So if one of these guys goes away for whatever reason, he leaves his partner unprotected, and it's a serious crime in the military. It's a serious offense. Here's the translation in Spanish. You can pause the video there if you'd like. So he's saying, look, you're going to be punished for being a deserter, and maybe I will catch you first, and I will apply the same consequence. So if I catch you, there will be consequences, or there will be consequences if I catch you. So get back on your horse. Because this is the commander or the guy in charge. Once again, it's an order. I won't say it again. Won't is an abbreviation for will not. I will not repeat myself. I won't repeat myself. Negative auxiliary for will not. Auxiliary, sorry. Your dead man seemed to have moved camp. So he made a claim. He said that there were dead people there. He saw what he saw, but they're not there anymore. They moved a camp, like in the military. Your camp, you want your camp to be near water, but dead men usually do not walk. So what happened here? Dead men do not usually move. What he's saying is your claim might be false. Please explain. He's being a little bit sarcastic. You said that there were people here. They're not here anymore. You're lying. Your dead men seem to have moved camp. Where did they go? He's saying, well, they were here. I don't know who moved them. They were here. Affirmative. Question, were they here? They were here. Affirmative. They weren't here. Negative. And were they here? Interrogative. Go see where they went. But see where they went is short for go and see where they went. What is it? What is it is a question. Is it? Because is it is a question. It is an affirmation. So the question would be, what is it? And if you want to answer exactly with the same structure, you would answer what it is. There's actually an expression that it is what it is. You may know it. Let's practice with the answer. If you this is called direct and indirect questions. So what time does the bank open is a full direct question. However, if you add do you know or whatever, or I don't know, then this becomes a question, and the second part of the question becomes an affirmation. So that's the reason why you don't follow the structure, does the bank open? You say the bank opens as as affirmative. The same case here. If you add I know and I don't know, that becomes the answer. Or I'm sorry, that becomes a question. So the next part is supposed to be in the format of an affirmation. If you're interested in direct and indirect, to study more about direct and indirect, please remind me in class. I have an excellent class for this, and I'll explain it to you. But this is like a brief description here. So short question, I know. Short question, I don't know. And then affirmative, I know what it is, or I don't know what it is. It's still an affirmative answer. So what is it? It's, I don't know, it's a heart, it's a liver, I don't know what it is. Here's one of the sons of Lord Stark, and Jon Snow is teaching him how to use the bow and arrow. So go on, father's watching. I noticed when I'm by the way, I have to make a pause here because I want to explain something to you. I am actually new to Game of Thrones. I had never, for some reason, never been interested in it. I am now, thanks to your recommendation. I will start creating these episodes, and I'm fascinated. I'm surprised I hadn't seen it before. But that's the type of personality that I have. I usually don't watch things when other people are watching them. I watch them at my own time. But all I can say is I'm fascinated. Thank you very much for the recommendation, and I'm going to try and finish as many of these episodes as possible. Highly recommended. So one of the reasons that I was fascinated and I really, really liked it is because I like the relationship or the way that this Lord Stark has to balance raising a son and a daughter. I have a sister myself, so I know what that's like. And here we can see how his sister Arya is a perfectionist. So he's having problems practicing with the bow and arrow. His father and mother is watching. They have high expectations for him, maybe a little bit too much pressure. And here's Arya doing some work that I guess girls are meant to do, but even then, she's doing fine work as always. Well done. She's being congratulated for her work and recognized. She's getting recognition. I love the detail that you've managed to get in this corner. Anything that you manage like a manager, it's a skill, like it says here. It's not only to handle like the literal translation, but it's also to exercise with skill. So beautiful stitching for Arya is what they're saying here. Once again, the son and daughter relationship. Pretty interesting how this girl is being brought up. manage. Once again, it's things that you can do with your hand, or things, in this case, things that you can accomplish. I love the detail that you've accomplished. How did you get it? How did you do it with this corner? You must have a lot of skill. Quite beautiful. The stitching is beautiful. Obviously, Lord Stark is asking, come on, I mean, which one of you was the best at 10? Show my son that he can be a great marksman. What is a marksman? Here's the definition in Spanish. Any object, you could use a firearm nowadays, a bow, or throw an object. That's a marksman. Keep practicing, Bran. Royal education. Some of these guys in the royal family, they are brutal when it comes to education. Their children must be disciplined. Practice every day. Discipline first. Go on. Don't think too much, Bran. Just be natural. You have a lot of pressure. Your mom and your dad are watching. Just relax. Don't think. Just do it. Relax your bow arm is another recommendation. Relax your arm. The arm that is holding the bow. What is the translation for bow right here in Spanish? Pause the video if necessary. Quick, Bran, faster. Lord Stark. Lord and Lady is a noble is noble title for the royal nobility, for the royal family. And this guy has news for Lord Stark. A Godsman just rode from the hills. He came down. He was up there. He's a Godsman. He's on the watch. But the news is they've captured a deserter from the Night's Watch. Okay, so we have a deserter. There are consequences. Get my friends to saddle the horses. Saddle is acting here like a verb. Go get the pals, the friends, to saddle the horses. What is the lad? The young man. Here, Spanish translation. Please get the young man to do their work. Saddle the horses, because we're gonna ride up there. Once again, this is saddle. As a verb, it's a little bit different. Here we're showing the noun. Here it's acting like a verb. Go do it. Saddle the horses. Do you have to? This is the wife asking. Is this necessary? And this is Lord Stark answering. It is necessary because he swore an oath, Cat. Once again, he swore an oath. It's like a ritual. Here's the definition in Spanish. And the law is the law. According to Aristotle, the law is reason that is free from passion. So there's no passion here, it's just reason. And tell my son, Bran Stark, he's coming too. Cat is allowed to call Lord Stark by his first name because they're both royals. So Ned, like, you know, our son Bran is 10 years old. He's too young to see such things. But Lord Stark wants to teach him a lesson because he won't be a boy forever. And because winter is coming. All right, young man, go run back and get the rest of the people. This guy is just muttering, mumbling, talking. He's like, White Walkers. I saw the White Walkers. He's obviously regretting his decision of walking away, but he thinks he saw them. He had a reason to be afraid. He knows, I know I broke my oath. And I know what I did is a crime. I'm a deserter. And I should have gone back to the wall and warned my friends. But I saw what I saw. I saw the White Walkers. And people need to know. Please, if you can tell my family, get the word out to my family. And tell them that I'm not a coward. This guy is about to die. He's worried about his legacy. So you want people to say that you died with honor, defending. He doesn't want the rumor to get to his family that he actually committed a crime, and him being called a coward. And tell my family I'm sorry. Forgive me, Lord Stark. And I guess Lord Stark, before he executes, he says, in the name of Robert of the house of Baratheon, house of Baratheon, the first of his name. Jon Snow is asking the kid not to look away because he's trying to teach him a lesson. If you look away, you're not going to get the lesson. The first of his name, King of the Andals, and the first man. Don't look away because your father will know if you look away. This is related to don't look away. King of the Andals and the first man, Lord of the Seven Kingdoms, and protector of the realm. This is an interesting map. It says if Westeros were Europe, this would be Scotland because of their traditions. Greenland, Norway, Germany, Switzerland, London, Wales, Spain, France, and England. Very interesting, huh? This is from the HuffPost. A little trivia there. If Westeros were Europe, these would be the different countries. I, Ed, or Eddard of the House of Stark, Lord of Winterfell and Warden of the North, sentence you to die. Well, the kid followed the instructions. He didn't look away. He learned a lesson. And his father approaches him and he says, do you understand? Or you understand why I did it? Well, Jon said, because he was a deserter. But do you understand why I had to kill him? And the reasoning behind this is because the House of Stark says our way is the old way. We do things in the traditional way, according to traditions. So according to their tradition, they don't have another person do the killing for them. It is the man who passes the sentence that should swing the sword. So the man that accuses is the man that takes the action. This is so interesting. I like this. Is it the kid is curious about what he saw, so he's saying, is it true that he saw the White Walkers? Lord Stark doesn't believe so. He says the White Walkers have been gone for thousands of years. So maybe the reasoning, according to the kid, so he was lying. And Lord Stark says a madman sees what he sees. He thinks that this guy was just crazy. A madman sees what he sees. And that's that. Thank you very much, guys. It's been a pleasure hanging out with you this evening. There's so many lessons to learn from Game of Thrones. Our way is the old way. I love it. I'm gonna continue watching it. I'm actually, you're not gonna believe it. It's the first episode I watch. I'm excited. But at the end of the day, I'm an English teacher. I just explained the vocabulary. Right now, I'm excited because I'm just gonna watch episode 2 right now, right after this video. I hope that you have a wonderful evening, and it's been a pleasure.